Hello, YouTube family. Welcome to the recap of today's live stream, which is titled Fighting with Narcissists During the Holidays or Holiday Fights with the Narcissist. I wanted to share with you my experience this last holiday, Christmas, with a narcissist in my family and, someone that generally is benign. I hate to say that narcissists can be benign, but if you're not that involved in their family or involved in their life, then you can take kind of a safe position and still, when you gather with other relatives and stuff and that narcissist shows up, it's possible for them not to cause a whole lot of damage to you. So whoever's closest to them, they can cause a lot of damage to. Well, in my story, what happened was I got stuck in the car with the narcissist. So it did not go well. Usually I've been able to handle that type of situation, but I try not to ever have to be in a car by myself with a narcissist. And for some reason, maybe I got caught up in the holiday spirit and, the joy and just kind of freedom and being able to go and do things and just enjoy life for a while. I kind of got caught up in that and threw caution to the wind. Ended up going out with the narcissist to run some errands, which I thought would be nice, right? You would think it would be nice to spend time with a family member, but not so with a narcissist, and definitely not alone. You always want to have others with you. You need a buddy system when you're with a narcissist, even if the buddy has no idea they're your buddy in this ordeal. What happens is they at least take some of the attention away from you and can distract the narcissist. But I ended up going by myself with the narcissist to run some errands, and the argument started in the store because the narcissist that I know is a hypochondriac. And first of all, narcissists are irrational to begin with, but as a hypochondriac, they're also extremely annoying because they believe they're on death's door always, right? There's absolutely nothing wrong with them. They look perfectly fine. They're actually more healthy than anybody else in your life, and yet they want to complain about a small injury, say a splinter or a twisted ankle. They'll blow it out to, oh my gosh, I have this gash in my arm, and it's a tiny splinter in their finger. Or they'll complain about their sprained ankle as, oh, my bones, I've got osteoporosis. Sprained ankles have nothing to do with that. It's a joint issue, right? They're just going to be extremely irrational. And this is what my narcissist was doing. So, of course, I tried to bring reason into the discussion. I do encourage people to bring reason into discussions, but with narcissists, reason does not work because they are not telling you their ailments in order to solve the ailment. They're not trying to get a second opinion or a third opinion. They don't want to resolve the issue. They don't want to actually get better. They want to just complain about their ailment and get pity. They thrive on pity, and especially around the holiday season when not all of the attention is on them. So they have to trump up some kind of ailment in order to get pity and attention. What they're really looking for is, and hoping for is that you would be shocked and just, blown away with their ailment, that you are alarmed and panicked for them, and that you'll drive them to the emergency room yourself, is what. And I kind of wonder, maybe that's what we should do. I did not do that. Maybe I wonder if that would have solved the problem if I had said, you know what? Yeah, if you want, I'll go ahead and drive you to the hospital if you need to right now, and act all alarmed and panicked with them, because then it's sort of like you calling them on their bluff. They know they don't need to go to the hospital. They know they don't need to go to the emergency room again, right? But they want you to panic for them so that you give them pity, so that you can tell them what a hero they are to continue on even though they're in, their body is traumatized. like they don't even know what trauma is, it reminds me of people who are so insulated and have such a life that they don't, maybe they did experience trauma before, but in their current life, things are going extremely well. Like nothing is wrong in their life except for what they caused to happen in their life, except for all the drama they cause with their friends and their family and the arguments that they push for. But they think that their life is so miserable and they deserve all this pity from you. And if everything in life is going pretty well, then they're going to start looking into health issues. And that's what's going on. And not even real health issues, you guys, okay? I had a covert narcissist who was a friend of mine for over a decade. I did not know she was a narcissist until she turned on me, which is, how this is before I even learned about narcissism. And I just thought she was just a horrible person. But then it came once I learned about narcissistic abuse and NPR, narcissistic personality disorder, um, and NPD, I guess that would be. So that's when she started fitting all this descriptions. Well, she was a total hypochondriac. She would look up and Google all kinds of diseases, and it would start off with like, oh, I've been getting a headache after I eat a certain food. Every time I eat that food, I get this headache. And yeah, she also diagnosed herself with celiac disease and what was it? All the food allergies she could think of. But then on top of that, she diagnosed herself with some really traumatic internal issues. And because headache was one of their symptoms. I mean, this is what narcissists do. Now, also hypochondriacs who are not narcissists will do this. But a lot of the narcissists I know are either hypochondriacs or they're the polar opposite, which is they think they'll live forever because they're superhuman, right? They have special certain blood or chemistry in their body that makes them superhuman and able to resist disease. And here's the deal. There are a lot of people who don't often get sick, right? They're and pretty much can even say, wow, I never get sick because they take care of themselves. They eat right, they live right, they do have good immunity, right? But then there's the narcissist who actually believes this immunity is not just because they eat right and they live right and they get rest, it's because they're made superhuman, they have this particular, I want to say imbalance, but to them it's a benefit, something special about their blood that makes them superior. Anyway, it's just annoying to be around a narcissist who goes on and on about their health issues when you can pinpoint exactly what's going on and why they're feeling badly, or they're not even feeling that bad, but they're not being patient with the medicine that that's supposed to kick in, or they're exaggerating their ailment, right? And so I got stuck in the car with this narcissist, and she's going crazy and angry, getting angrier and angrier because I asked a few questions about her issues, right? Just to get some clarity. Well, you guys, when you try to introduce reason or ask questions, the narcissist will get really mad. And at that point, what could I have done? Probably, just ignored it. Probably just, I could have checked out and started doing a grocery list in my head and let her go on and on. But I didn't, right? I responded each time she said something, I would give a response. This is entangling yourself with a narcissist and arguing with ridiculousness. And although I had warned against this, I think I just let my guard down and thought I was dealing, and hoping that I was dealing with someone who could be reasoned with. That was my mistake. You cannot reason with a narcissist. And even, after the first time you say something and then they distort it, right? They twist it to mean something else. Now they've got you into an argument trying to clarify what you said or say, no, that's not what I said. Then they just go off this deep dive. You know what? At any point, you can just stop it. At any point, you can just let them have their one-sided argument At any point, we have the choice to say, I'm not engaging in this anymore. And you just stop and you let them go on and on and on. And you just sit there and go, okay. And then that's how it can de-escalate, except for the very aggressive narcissist who will recognize that you're doing that and then challenge you further. So be careful of that. Well, after being stuck in the car throughout this argument, we get to the house. And by the time we got to the house, I was ready to escape. I was ready to make my escape and get the heck out of there, which I did. Because I was like, you know what? For me to stick around this house, the narcissist is going to keep going and going and going and will not relent. And she did not while I was still in the house. So got to the point where I just, when the narcissist went to go to the bathroom or something, I don't even know what, I just left. It's like, well, okay, that's it. So I left, had a very nice, pleasant lunch, spent a couple hours away from the house, came back, and by then the narcissist was on to other things. So that at least I was able to take over, take control of and extract myself, get myself out of there. And that's what I would recommend to you anytime. And it doesn't even have to be around the holidays that this happens. But the reason I even mention the holidays is because, for one, we may have our guard down. And two, we may be feeling the trauma and the sadness and things that happen around the holidays, maybe some stresses, right? We may be feeling that ourselves. And that also brings down our defenses. Another thing is that, around the holiday time, it is a stressful time. It's supposed to be a happy time. But if you're comparing yourself to the Joneses, to your neighbors, to other families and wishing that your family could be as good and wonderful as theirs, it's going to bring a lot of sadness and depression onto you. Again, making you not on your game, right? You're not going to be in your best shape to handle the narcissist in your family. So with all of that, when you're going to have a gathering with a narcissist, where a narcissist will be there, just make sure you have a game plan. Make sure you have a buddy system. Make sure you are never alone with the narcissist. So that is the takeaway. I hope that this has helped you guys. Make sure that you like the video, you comment, and you share the video and subscribe. And if you would watch a commercial once in a while, that would be great. So I appreciate that. I hope that this has helped. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I missed, because there's a lot that I said during the live stream. If you want more detail and more information, go ahead and watch the live stream today on holiday fights with the narcissist, and you'll get the full realm of what we discussed today. But if all you can do is watch this recap, bless you. I hope that this has helped you. I think that it's just a good reminder when we share our stories of how to not fall into these traps. And especially when we see each other falling into these traps, how then can we share what we learned from it, right? So you guys, I hope that you have a wonderful week, that you have a great new year. So happy new year to all of you guys. We are coming out of the dark ages. This is what you have to realize. If you're feeling oppression and discouragement right now, be aware that we're not going into a dark age, although there's definitely darkness ahead. Just like anytime you have a relationship with a narcissist and you come out of that relationship, the moment you start to recognize the reality of your relationship with a narcissist, that it's not this beautiful, fairy tale of a relationship. When you recognize that, it does seem extremely dark. But actually what's happening is that you are waking up from a nightmare. You just didn't realize you were in this nightmare. You knew things were off. You knew you felt bad. You knew that there's something not quite right. But until you open your eyes and you recognize where you really are, you cannot get out of it. So the good news is you're coming out of the dark ages. You're coming out of the trauma. You're going to make this. This is your year. 2022. This is the year to face reality, as harsh and ugly as it might be, but also the year that you're going to break out of it. You're going to break out of the chains that you are in. and you're going to have a wonderful life. All right, you guys, blessings to you. Watch a commercial once in a while, and I will catch you next week.